Our band of the week, those red-hot Crimson Pipers from Tuskegee University. These are student athletes. When the temperature is rising on the field, they still deliver the show.
It's brutal to come out here in this intense heat. Like, you can practice for it, but, you know, your body just, sometimes you just can't adjust to it. You know, you try to make some preparations to make sure the kids are hydrated, make sure they eat well before the game, things like that. But you know, it's in the early part of the season, it is a little brutal.
This year's set will honor the Queen of Soul, as well as other female stars in the music industry.
Like this year, it's ironic because we were going to do a women's show, and I was thinking about doing Natural Woman anyway, and then I saw that she was going into hospice, and I said, well, you know what, you know, if she's in the hospice, you know, it may not be long, and if we have to honor the Queen of Soul, she's so important to our culture. To me, it's a privilege because, you know, they put out these songs, you know, and I don't know if they put them out, you know, thinking a band is going to play them or whatever, but they mean so much to our culture, and it means so much to our people. So it's an honor for us to actually be able to play it back, you know, for the people.
It's been quite a year for the Pipers, who starred in their second national TV commercial, this time alongside Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, we did a commercial before with Zaxby's, so the casting company, we did good with that, so they called us and asked us to be a part of the JCPenney's campaign. And it was a really enjoyable experience. I mean, he is really cool, like he showed the band a lot of love. He came over and played with the kids and met each of the kids and just fellowship with us and, you know, just showed a bunch of love to Tuskegee.
But humility is still the note of choice for Tuskegee.
Like, we're still growing. We got a lot of work to do, and we're going to work hard. We're going to get it in. Like, every day, I keep telling the kids that we have to practice with urgency, that we have to practice, and we can't settle for anything.
Our band of the week, the Marching Crimson Pipers from Tuskegee University.
Always talking this stuff about the jukebox. Why won't they just let us live? Here we go! Let's make you break it down, Bobby! Tell me why. That's our prerogative. What is this? What is that? Randy, what you doing out here? I'm sorry. Miss Jackson is in there. What you doing, Bobby? What's this? Woo!
Band of the Week this week goes out to all the small bands dishing out those big sounds, but specifically the St. Augustine Superior Sound Marching Band. Cause over here at HBCU Game Day, we're all about showing that band love to everybody's band, large and small. Plus, we caught up with the SAU band director, Mr. Alfred Davis, and he schooled us on the ins and out of getting such a superior sound out of his small in numbers band.
Every Saturday for home games, we have the band report at 11 o'clock. We would have had a long rehearsal that Friday night before because there are no classes. We kind of go unlimited. I think last night we went to about 10:30 just to get ready for this. We come into the band room at 11 o'clock, get dressed, start our warm-up at 11:30, go through both our pregame and halftime shows in the band room, have prayer, then we march down to the field. Challenges is writing for that band, making sure that whatever is written for the band has the sonority that is needed so it can sound good out here. And that's the hard part, especially when you don't have the instrumentation that you really need. But these kids work hard, and I arrange everything for them, and they bring it to life, and I can't appreciate them anymore.
Now, in my opinion, one of the most impressive aspects of HBCU band culture is how they managed to take today's top hits and flip them into halftime routines in 2.5 weeks flat. We just heard LMA's Boot Up, but my favorite part of this halftime show was when they went in on Sierra's smash hit, Level Up, Level Up, Level Up. And I talked to Mr. Davis about the process of how that song went from an idea to being part of the halftime show.
I heard it first I mentioned it to our dance captain, and she was saying, okay, I think we can do this. So she came up with the dance routine. We talked about the counts and how we want to splice it up. And the kids gravitated to it. They played it very well the first time we actually read it, got the percussion together in it, and it came out perfect. It came out great today.
Initially, Tuskegee University invited Booker T. Washington's band to perform with them at halftime, but band director Lydia Hill over at Booker T had bigger ideas.
I asked him, I was like, hey, did you receive the information yet? He was like, no. So I contacted Mr. Lennar, and I told him that other band directors were interested, and if it was okay if I passed along the information. He said, okay.
So Lafayette, Pike County, and Booker T got to ball and parlay.
Well, we had to wake up really early, like around 6:30, and we really put in the work to be able to perform in this field show. It was really good. We got out there, we did the level up, we did the shoot, we did it all. So we wanted to please the shed, so we wouldn't get booed out, really.
They enjoyed it. They've been thinking about it every single day. They were ready up this morning, 4:30 a.m., got on the bus at 5. We was ready to go.
Now, Booker T. Washington is in Tuskegee, so they are quite familiar with TU. But Hill, she had to warm up to all this ball and parlay business.
Miss Hill, can we please play ball and parlay? And I'm like, no, because I went to Alabama State. So I'm like, no. And so when they were finally able to play it, it's like they did not want to stop. Every single time we were able to play, Miss Hill, can we play ball and parlay? And I'm just like, fine.
But a big salute to the kids. They had to learn the routine in 2 hours that day.
Whereas at my school, we had like a whole week to prepare. So kind of getting the rush feeling and getting the being able to go out there and do it, perform it, even though we had to learn it in 2 hours, it was really good.
We also learned there's a little history and the future with band directors Hill and Michael Floyd. They'll soon be married. Their love story began in the Alabama State Band, although their first meeting is still up for debate on how that went down.
We both met. We were in the band at Alabama State University. I was a freshman. She was a senior. And so one of the things, she was in the band sorority. So she was holding the door for the freshmen to come in. And so, you know, I saw her. So I was like, you know, hey, nah, how you doing? And, you know, she pretty much told me to shut up and stop talking to her. So from that point, it was just a chase. It was just a chase at that point. And then, you know, clockwork, she slid me the note with the digits on it, you know. And here we are, 6 years later.
Is that an accurate representation of the story?
Well, kinda. From my memory, he was trying to open the door for me, and I walked through, and he said, "Hey," and I did tell him to stop talking to me, and he just would not leave me alone. Every time he would interrupt my conversations with my friends and just butt in, and then he just went. And I told one of them, I was like, "Hey, I think this freshman liked me," because he would not leave me alone.
But in the end, we can look for even more beautiful music with those wedding bells soon coming out of Tuskegee.
HBC Game Day, baby.
I don't think we can hear the answer to the question anymore.
With a 1973 smash hit by Stevie Wonder entitled Higher Ground. The Boom now takes the field. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sonic Boom has formed the letters
Lila Grant is the first female drum major in Morehouse since 1983. She's known all along that she was going to go to an HBCU.
I always knew, especially coming out of a pretty white environment in high school, that I wanted to go to an HBCU. I also realized in my classes in high school that I wasn't getting enough, I guess, attention and acknowledgement, the attention and acknowledgement that I needed as a black woman. So being at Spelman, knowing that it was a school for black women, I knew that everyone there was working for the betterment of black women, and I couldn't imagine myself any other place.
And music has always been a part of her life.
I started playing the piano at age 5, and it was just what I did. I mean, my mom, she was a singer. My grandmother was a music educator. My grandpa was always singing. I just grew up singing. I was in choir. I joined the band because that's just what everybody did.
But joining the House of Funk wasn't the plan from day one.
I planned thoroughly to come to college and not be in band anymore. But as soon as I saw the band at my NSO week, I was like, okay, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm doing that next year. So I actually joined my sophomore year.
Then it was off to the drum line.
My band director, he tends to put people who are kind of musically ambiguous on instruments that might need more people, but I was gonna play the drums. I wasn't gonna come in this band and play anything else.
The transition was a process.
Most of my life, I grew up in a very white-centered, really academic, focused, just intelligent, high, preppy environment. So coming here was very different, and learning the music style was very different as well, because I came from a chorus style marching band and we rolled our feet and crab stepped everywhere. So it was different.
But she was coming into her own.
It was supposed to happen. I mean, we're called the House of Funk, and I just like funky music and grooving and whatnot. So I made it happen. I used to dance. I was on my high school's dance team, so I've got rhythm and style and technique of that sort. So I kind of incorporated my comfort with that, with my musical abilities, and that's kind of how I found my niche here.
It was a grind, but it was all worth it.
Most of the Morehouse men that are in the band, they get scholarships for doing this, but Spelmanites in the band, we're just here. We're just here out of the love of music, and especially since we're spending minimum 4 hours a day every single day, and then games the whole entire weekend, sometimes cutting into the weekdays doing this, the commitment that I have put into this needs to match the love and the energy I have for that, because that's all that kept bringing me back. So yeah, it was fun. It had to be fun, or else I couldn't have gotten through it.
Now, if Lila Grant is going to be in something, she's going to be in all the way. She's a natural leader, so she chose to lead.
My band director mentioned first qualifying thing for being a drum major is being at band camp, so you all made it. And I said, I'm starting to qualify, and that was my starting point. I got close with the drum majors. I saw what they were doing, and I kind of kept it in my own mind, because I'm like, I don't want to disclose this to anyone. They're not quite ready for this yet, so I'm gonna keep this to myself until the actual audition came around in February. And so people saw in February that it was like, oh my gosh, there's a girl trying out for drum major, all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then I got it, and I was like, yeah, I did it.
Music and rhythm are equal opportunity skills. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. But there are physical aspects to being a drum major. Some of that was a challenge for Lila.
A lot of the moves that we do, just in parades, and the marching styles that we do require, it's like doing a sprint, but a very, very, very long sprint. So the energy that needs to be put into just marching a whole parade, which we did this past weekend, is a lot of energy. We need to be able to do moves on top of after that sprint, which is a lot of energy as well. And it's a lot of tight moves, and it requires a lot of strength, just arm, leg strength, stamina, and things of that sort. So I've had to overcome my own physical abilities and then do more just to reach the minimum of them.
It's been quite a year for the House of Funk and this Chicago native.
Performing at my hometown football stadium, the Chicago Bears Stadium, Soldier Field, was amazing. It was entirely surreal. It was a very surreal experience just all the love and support that I've gotten through this whole experience. It wasn't that shocking because I get so much love when I'm at home. I get so much love when we travel to other away games.
Now, the coolest part so far might have been her opportunity to connect with the last female drum major at Morehouse back in 1983. You know, before Lila was even born.
She and I had a conversation about what it means to be in this position, especially as a woman. And we talked to each other and we said, this is something that not everybody can do. So it's a difficult thing, in knowing that both of us are strong enough and powerful enough, and we're able to achieve that kind of just created a bond between us two that no one else will have. So it was a really nice experience to talk to her. I do understand what I am representing, and I am happy. I'm very, very excited to be in this position and representing that for other women, to know your strength and your power and how much you can put into something and reap the benefits of it. But honestly, it's just another thing that I'm able to do. I'm really happy, again, to represent both schools and just show what I could do, show what women can do if they actually try. But it's just another thing.
The halftime show at an HBCU sporting event is just that, a show. And when one of the best bands in the land got a full halftime to themselves, they decided to take it up a notch and deliver a show that was more than just entertainment. The North Carolina A&T Blue and Gold Marching Machine delivered a tour de force halftime show entitled This Is America, dedicated to topics like police brutality and domestic violence. So we caught up with Assistant Director of Bands for the BGMM, Dr. Lamont Lawhorn, after the game to get some insights on how a show of this magnitude comes together and becomes more than just your average halftime performance.
Well, it's definitely a lot of planning. We begin show planning probably about March or April. So all of our shows are pre-planned before the season begins. It's a lot of creative minds coming together in our war room, as we call it, and just putting a lot of things together. No idea is a bad idea until we try to put it into play. So there's a lot of creative minds that come together when we put shows together for the BGMM. Today's theme, the show was called This Is America. What we were trying to do is portray some of the issues or items that's facing America today. Being that this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we definitely wanted to put that in there. There are some themes as far as police brutality, unarmed shootings, things that are facing America today, and we just wanted to highlight some of those issues. The show we did today was actually something we were planning to do over the summer, but depending how the schedule worked out, we decided to move it later on in the season. So what we typically have music prepared at least 2 weeks before the show, before the designated performance, and then we go about learning the music, learning the drill, and then putting all of the theatrics, as they're called, in between. Always going to be a show for us. We are a marching band, and so we feel like your best performance should be on the band field. A lot of times people tend to put their best performances with songs in the stands, but North Carolina A&T State University Blue and Gold Marching Machine is a marching band, and we're a field show group. That's the priority. So we try to make sure everything is always entertaining. There's always going to be a story. When we come together as far as the show planning, we try to see how can either the song titles or the overall theme of the show tie into what it is we're doing on the field and portray to those who are in the audience to make sure they're enjoying it and have an entertaining show.
My name is Greg Hughes. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm a senior. I'm a computer science major. So I'm from Fayetteville, so Winston is 2 hours away. So I didn't know a lot of people from Winston. So what I wanted to do was expand out and see different varieties because people want to go to A&T and stuff like that. I was trying to be diverse and go somewhere else, somewhere different. I had a music scholarship here from Dr. Magruder himself, and I came in first trumpet. My freshman year, I didn't make it drum major, so I tried out, I did my best, but I couldn't do it. So what I wanted to do was come back even stronger. So I tried out my second year, which is sophomore year, and made it. So I had more
Number 26, carry on more
exposure to what I was doing and how they work, marching styles and musicality, all that different stuff. So that's how I came to Winston. That's how I became
making the stop.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go a week ahead. Right. So we prepare for the show a week ahead. So when the show comes, it'll be perfect, in place, on spot, on point. So we go ahead, we have an old show, then we have a new show, which is the homecoming show. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're outside back to back to back at 5:30 till whenever we say leave. So from 5:30 to like 11, 12. The time management is key if you want to be in a band, especially if you got a scholarship too. So on top of that, you got to be on your grades because you're going to be at practice all day, all night. In the morning, you got to wake up, go to class. There's still events and parties going on. You got to learn how to control yourself, and also time management is key. So you really have to focus on yourself and know what you're doing.
Pass is complete to number 14.
Without the happy medium, you can go from 100% all the way down to -1. So with that, you really have to
picking up first down yardage.
On point, really on point. And the week is really
hectic. Ball is now in Ram territory.
There's a lot of old heads coming back telling you what to do or how this should look.
Spotted at the 44-yard line. First and 10 for the Blue Bears.
Before you came. So that's how that goes. This is very hectic, but it's very fun at the same time. It is what you make it.
now, a real dance.
First of all, we give all glory to God, and second, we practice.
Tuskegee University. There are rules to this here halftime show. There are as follows. You come, you leave halftime show, and you go back home. This one is for
When the purple marching machine from Miles College hits the field, you know it. Their trademark, the most aggressive form of neck that I've ever heard.
It's very mean and angry. It's nothing friendly about it to let the other band know that we are here. So when we play neck, it's nothing nice. We're not a friendly band.
It's more war chant than melody.
So that's the attitude of the song, and that's the attitude of their band director. So that's why it sounds so aggressive when we play it. You got to have something different. You know, everybody got a Mercedes, so I got to have something different. If I have something different, that means people are going to watch it. So our music, our arranger style, Mr. Brian Knowles is our arranger, LeBaron Matt Waters one of our arrangers. One thing I try to tell them, we need to play different music, and we need to make sure we have our own unique sound. Our sound is not like nobody else's. If you go listen to any other band in America, Miles Band sounds like Miles Band, and that's the formula that we want to keep.
Band director Willie Snipes sets the tone. He is a Miles man through and through, no doubt about that. And in fact, he's the first music major in school history.
Definitely, I'm back at my home. I graduated from Miles College. So whenever I'm in front of this band, it's already pride, and I have a lot of passion about the organization. So when I direct my band, it's not just me directing something that I came from. So it's definitely the passion that I have behind it. And when the students see the passion, then they play the way I direct, and that's the energy that the Purple Marching Machine give off.
He puts his band together just like the football team, identifying needs and going out to get it.
In the springtime, well, throughout the year, but definitely the springtime, we go to about 15 different states around the United States of America, and we recruit different students. We have different target instruments that we look for. We mostly brass. As you can see, our band consists of about 140 brass players. So we look for bands that have high-power brass, such as New Orleans area, Memphis, Detroit, Atlanta area, and we target those spots and try to get the brass players out of there. So one thing that we do, we just put out a quality product, and that's what drives the students to want to come to Miles College.
This season, the Purple Marching Machine made history with its first ever female drum major, Hyshira Young.
She's from Landry Walker High School in New Orleans. Her band director was Mr. Rawlins. He's a great leader. She came here with the leadership. She told me she was going to be the first girl drum major, and she proved us right. And we're happy to have her. She's doing a great job. And maybe our head drum major next year will be her. She's doing a very great job. I tell you like this, I have a little girl, and I just don't want nobody to take that honor from her. So we have to be fair. A lot of schools don't believe in women drum majors, but you know, one day my young lady might want to be a drum major or a band director. You know, we just had to give them the chance. Like I said, she's doing a wonderful job. It's not something I did. It's definitely God anointed us with her. So we just blessed to have her.
Band is life, right? We've all heard that before, but that's not always the case.
Band is not my success. The battle is fun, but that's just entertainment for the fans. My success is when I see my kids at Academic Regalia, May 5th, walking across the stage with a degree, and they are able to go out in the world and compete. My biggest thing I love to see is my students graduate. So my success is when I create more success. So it's definitely not the band. The band is just an outlet to get them here, and then we guide them, and then we get them into the real world. So graduation is my biggest thing I love with these students.
Your band of the week, the Purple Marching Machine from Miles College.
Nothing like an HBCU band to bring together all generations through music. And the Spartan Legion Marching Band came to Greensboro for North Carolina A&T's homecoming and blessed us with some old school at halftime and some new school in the fifth quarter. So in celebration of bridging the generational gap through music, the Spartan Legion are this week's HBCU Game Day Band of the Week. Hey yo, Norfolk, show them how y'all get down.
answer to the question anymore.